And a warm welcome to Danny, who has joined us in studio.
Thank you very much.
How are things in the rag trade these days?
Yeah, not too bad. Good.
Busy. I think, are people more inclined to go shopping when the weather is good?
I think they might have a look at their wardrobe and kind of going, oh, my summer shorts are a bit faded. I better get some more or whatever. But with the weather being good so early, we're kind of caught a bit in the hop, really. My 3/4 only came in this morning, and they should have been here. Normally they come in when we have the snow in February. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is going. But again, I think when the sun comes, everyone wants a bit of bright colour and stuff like that. Even though last month we were tempting everyone to change their wardrobe, we must have known something that other people didn't. And
yeah, it was like we had a premonition.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Well, I can tell you now, I've put away my winter woolies, and so I'm hoping there won't be like snow at the end of April or something like that. Danny, you were saying there about colour and introducing colour, and that's really what you're going to talk to us about today. Dopamine dressing. Now, we all know what dopamine is. It's like that little hit your brain gets of pleasure that you might get from coffee or chocolate or whatever.
But with colour, certain people get it with black, but a lot more people, because of the sunshine, are feeling it with colour. They want to go for the colour to get that hit, to feel good. When the sun comes out, everyone's mood lifts naturally, but wearing a bright colour, whether it be coral, whatever it is, gives you that inner lift. And it's like going for that bar of chocolate, but it's the same kind of a hit that you'll get from wearing the bright colour. Some people are still black and navy, but once they hit the sun, or even if they're going on holidays, a colour that they will wear, they wouldn't wear at home, they'll wear on holidays, because they feel that hit, that the feel good factor. And that's what people feel on holidays as well.
Okay, and we can't underestimate how colour can lift our mood.
No.
They say if you've a tough day coming up, that if you pay particular attention to what you're wearing, maybe wear a strong colour, it might make you feel a bit more empowered, a bit more confident. So colour can affect our mood.
It can. Say a tailored suit if you're going in for business or whatever, but a bright colour, whether... I can remember having a discussion with someone that was very high up in business, and she goes, I'm tempted to wear red because it's danger, and I think I need to tell them how fierce I feel. And I goes, no, maybe bring it down a small bit. I said, maybe go for a hot pink, that you're passionate, but you're not to be messed with at the same time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I said, when you go in with the red means danger automatically. And she kind of, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
She came in to me 2 weeks later, and I goes, how did that meeting go? I'm delighted that I went for what you suggested rather than because it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But like that, I know if I had something coming up, I'd smarten myself up a bit more. It's just, I'm professional. I expect to be treated the same way.
Yeah, take me seriously.
Yeah, do you know that kind of...
And I think we can use colour to stand out as well. What springs to mind was a couple of weeks ago, I think maybe it was the day all hell broke loose in the Dáil. And now it might have been that day, but it was definitely a day that there was a lot of TV coverage of the Dáil. And I think it was our own Norma Foley, because if you're looking at the Dáil, like there's a lot of grey and
there is black
suits,
and
a lot
navy.
of men in suits.
Yeah.
And Norma stood out because I don't even remember what colour she was wearing, but she had a bright coloured suit on, and straight away your eye was drawn to her. And like, it's a great way for a woman in a workplace predominated by men to stand out as well in a scenario like that.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And it's a pity that there aren't more women in the Dáil or whatever, because we'd see that grey colour go to a bit more colour. And there is a bit more positivity as well with it. Yeah, you can use dressing to influence your surroundings. Do you know, be noticed if you want to be noticed. But I think if you want to be noticed, please don't go for black. Sometimes that can be noticeable if everyone else is wearing colour.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
Going the opposite. Oh, I just want to melt in. I'll take a beige, or I'll take... Why melt into the back? Why go to an event if you're melting into the back? You're not working the event or behind the scenes. Oh no, I'm going because of go and to be seen, or not to be seen, but to be involved.
And do you ever find yourself, Danny, as a stylist, watching TV and seeing somebody being interviewed and saying, oh God, if only she'd worn a bit of colour, or he, for that, if only, it can actually make you look better and more presentable and more approachable or whatever, if you're not looking just bland and beige,
or whatever. Sometimes I suppose I wouldn't be critical, but for it would be more presenters, I'd be more kind of critical, because I know some people, they mightn't have 5 minutes notice for an interview, but it would be the presenter on TV, if they're and that didn't matter whether it was a man or a woman. It was, even if they're sitting down, just that skirt is a bit short, or that blouse when they bent down a bit or whatever, it's after showing too much, or that was the wrong colour, you're clashing with the set. Small little bits and pieces that would I won't say get to me, that's what I get to notice more.
Since we're talking about colour, I think it's important to say as well that you mentioned red there, you mentioned hot pink, but it's equally important to dress for your skin tone, because not everyone can wear red, not everyone can wear yellow. So I suppose if you are going to be dopamine dressing, maybe the first thing you should establish is, what bright colours can I wear? Sometimes
with that addiction to colour, sometimes what you get, someone might have said to you 40 years ago, oh, that blue is lovely on you.
You're wearing it since.
And you're wearing it since. As you go older, your skin tone changes. The only thing that doesn't really change are your eye colours. And I would go for eye colour when I'm styling someone, because I think you get more longevity out of it rather than some of the skin tones. And like that, during the summer, some people might get natural tan. Some people, like myself, are pale all year round.
Pale and interesting.
But again, it just depends. There isn't one rule for everyone. The way I see it as well, everyone can wear red, but it's a case of wearing the right shade of it. You can go darker, can be fabulous on some redheads. Pale pink can be just as good. There are general rules out there, but I would normally say get a particular colour and get the person up against their face. And that will tell you if there is eyes. Hopefully my eyes are after coming out a wee bit.
Yeah.
But if I was going for the pink, I'm going to be more pasty than anything else.
Just to tell everyone, what Danny has done is he has draped, first of all, a royal blue material under his chin, and now he's put pink, and I can see straight away that the royal blue was great on you and the pink makes you look paler,
and it makes me almost look sick looking. But then where am I looking for? Now this mightn't be the right shade, but putting the green.
I'm not sure about the green now, actually.
This shade of green would be too, again, on the borders, but if I had a darker apple green,
you could wear it.
It looks as if I have a tan all of a sudden. It's because of my grey hair as well. Hair colour and eye colour are more important.
Remember, I think about 30 odd years ago, it was fashionable to get your colours done and to find out whether you were an autumn or winter or whatever. And a lot of people poo-pooed it at the time. I actually thought it was very interesting, and I've pretty much stuck with the colours I was advised to wear all those years ago.
Yes. You would need a small bit maybe of a top up, because there are colours that have come out every couple of seasons that might have been around then. But yes, I would. And I would go with them if it was someone reputable that was doing it, and someone that had a good reputation, rather than someone, oh, here, try that. Oh, that's good, that's bad. That's their opinion, rather than actual showing the difference. Because
it takes ages. They have to put loads of swatches of fabric under your chin and see whether it suits your skin tone or not.
But a lot of it, as well as the eyes and the hair, is very important, because you can change your skin tones, particularly ladies, and I know a couple of men do it as well now, a bit of makeup or foundation. That's taking away the natural colour straight away and might give a different variation.
Since we're talking about colours as well, let's not leave the lads out of this conversation, Danny, because the younger fellas, I think, the Gen Zs coming up, they're a little bit more inclined to wear colour.
They are. They're not afraid of it.
Yeah.
It's like me and computers, I'm slightly afraid of it. They seem to be afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
And they don't give... I think the big difference, they don't give a hoot what anyone says. They're more steadfast in their own belief, their self-belief, compared to other generations out there.
Yeah.
So they're going for, again, if a particular colour makes them happy, they're straight in for it. I don't think they take notice of anyone, and that's the difference. And they will experiment even with patterns, but again, they'll do a bit of colour clashing. It's very interesting to see what they're coming up in wearing as well.
Yeah, would you like to see Irish men be a bit more adventurous with colour?
I think we're starting.
Yeah.
It had started a couple of years ago, but it stops and starts in fits or whatever. But speaking to some of the men's retailers around, men are getting a bit more experimental, and they're getting more of their own sense of style rather than a girlfriend's or a wife's sense of style as well.
Yeah.
We are improving, but we still have a bit to go. But they're not afraid of the colour. Pink on men now, you'll see it everywhere. Red, where it was always the grey, the brown, the boring colours, but we're not afraid to take.
So embrace colour, gentlemen and ladies. But coming back to the women for the time being, Danny, and the dopamine dressing. So you've brought in a few examples of outfits that could give you that little bit of confidence, that little pop of colour.
Yeah, and again, I've kept it calm with this, even though I'll restart it. This is a bit colourful, but I went for a black base where a lot of people will be a lot more comfortable with. But if you really wanted to up the game on this top, what I would do, rather than going with the black trousers, which a lot of people would do, I would introduce a bit of hot pink, and it pulls a different colour.
Yeah, Danny is showing us a kind of a patterned, heavily patterned tunic top with a kind of, how would you describe that neck? It's loose.
It's a round, loose neck with a bit of frill at the back of it.
Okay, and there's a lot of colour in that top. There's orange, there's pink, there's red, there's white, there's black, there's green. I make it sound awful now, but for those of you who will watch the video, it's actually a lovely top.
The colours clash, but they complement each other at the same time because of the black background. Again, if this was navy, it would calm it down another small bit. But the minute I put a pink trousers under it, it really brings it more vibrant with the pinks, and it brings out more of the oranges as well. Now, if I was to bring a black pair, it will dull down some colours again. This is just a black linen trousers I'm just putting under this, or linen effect. And again, when you put the black underneath it, it calms it down. So if people wanted to experiment with colour, this is a nice way to start, with your black linen trouser and your black background with all the colours. It's a nice way of introducing it to people.
A nice cool tunic top. Danny, just before we go to the break, talking about men and colour, a caller says, if you look at Donald Trump, he's always wearing a red tie.
But again, would you think, are we going for danger with him, or is it going with his party colours?
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. And look at, I'll say no more on it. I'll only get myself into trouble.
Yeah,
but,
we maybe keep away from
reserved,
Trump and tariffs for today.
Politics, religion and age we shouldn't discuss.
Exactly. But that'd be no fun if we avoided all the good subjects. We'll take a break, and I just want to remind listeners as well, by the way, that I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who would like a bit of advice. And remember, Danny, as well as owning a boutique and being a radio star, he is also an award-winning stylist. So if you have a style dilemma, maybe there's a wedding coming up or an occasion and you need some advice, feel free to call us 066 7123 666. Now, a listener says, I'm looking forward to the Women's Shed fashion show tonight in the Great Southern in Killarney, where Danny will be showing some of his style. Yes, we're both big fans of the Women's Shed movement.
Yeah, and I'm doing a presentation presentation as well.
Oh,
yeah,
super.
opening the show. Yeah.
And I've been at your presentations and they're always so informative. And another listener, this is very good. Another listener says, will you ask Danny this? I live in colour and I've so many dresses in different colours and patterns. And then when it's time for me to go somewhere, I put on the dress that I stand in front of the mirror. Just bear with me 1 second now, because that message has just disappeared under another message. So bear with me. Sorry now, Danny.
You're okay.
Minor computer issue here. Yes, okay. So when it's time for me to go somewhere, I put the dress on, stand in front of the mirror, and I think, oh my God, this dress is making me look bigger than I am. Is this because of the colour?
Not necessarily. It might be because of the cut. I had a debate with a lady only this morning, and she thought she would look slimmer in black in a particular trousers and cami and a whole outfit. But when I said, will you do me a favour, will you try on another colour underneath the jacket? And when she came out, she goes, oh my God, I look skinnier. I said, yes, because it's slightly different cut. And she goes, but I thought black would always make me slim. Not always. The thing is the cut. If you get the wrong shaped dress, no matter what colour it is, it may make you look bigger or smaller. It all depends on the cut.
The fabric, the cut of the fabric.
And the other thing is the lighting within the room as well has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. And you're properly second guessing yourself. If you wore that dress before, there was a reason why you were attracted to it. Do you know? You might have lost a bit of weight, but the biggest thing is getting the right cut. No matter what colour, whether it be black, white, whatever. Particularly everyone thinks black will cover up a multitude of mistakes. No, it won't.
Yeah.
It's the cut is the most important.
Yeah, and often the reality is the cheaper the fabric, the worse it's going to look on you in terms of the cut.
The cut, no, it's the fall of the garment that really depends on the fabric. Because if it's cut in an A-line, whether it is a cheap fabric or a dear fabric, it'll be the same fall, or the same cut. But it's the fall of the fabric that makes it between the expensive or the cheap. The fall of the garment. Sorry.
We've a lady now, and she's 75 and she has a wedding coming up. She says she has bright blue eyes, fair hair. She's going to the afters of a wedding. 75, fair hair, bright blue eyes. Looking for advice on what to wear. The afters of wedding can be a bit tricky because you still have to be dressy, but not as dressy as if you were going to the whole wedding. Again,
you can go for a dress if you like, but what is ideal for an afters is a trousers and top. And what the colouring that lady's after saying, what would be gorgeous would be a blue, maybe a soft blue or a royal blue, or maybe a baby pink would be lovely in a top for you. And then depending, maybe match it with the trouser, the same colour, or maybe go for a navy with it.
Yeah, and you can always kind of go for a bit of bling with accessories.
Oh, you could. A scarf or a nice necklace, and it'll take you anywhere. Nice and easy. The lady, did she say whether she was tall or small?
She didn't know.
Yeah. Again, if you were kind of small, I would go the same colour in top as in the bottom. And if you're a bit on the taller side, you can bring in a bit of print or whatever. And like I had shown earlier, have the black print, the background to print and trousers matching. That'll make you taller as well.
Now, before we run out of time, we do have a few minutes left, but I want to make sure we get to this before it's too late. You want to talk about dressing for women who are going through the menopause, because a lot of women have hot flushes and sweats and all of that, and this particular weather doesn't help.
You hit the nail on the head. A lot of people, that's what they're coming in for. The biggest thing that I can say, and we're back to fabric again, getting the right fabric. Go for your cottons, go for your linen mixes, a bit of viscose mixed in with it. Keep away from your polyesters, the real synthetic, even pleathers. They should be gone. You know, they can be very warm. Go for something that your skin can breathe in, and go with your temperature, and that would be the cotton or the linen. And again, what I would say to people, don't go for anything too clingy. Go for something with a bit of looseness to it. And it lets in the air to you, and you don't feel as... What did one lady say? The hot flushes aren't as bad, or the tropical moments aren't as bad as well. Everyone has their own nicknames when it comes down to it. But the most important is the fabric. Go for the most natural fabric you can get. And at the moment, it's the cotton mixed with the linen.
Okay, you have a few more things to show us before we finish up.
Again, this is a basic cotton t-shirt, and then this is going back to where I'm going to say, when it is 100% cotton, please go up a size. And you're going to say why. The reason being is there is no elastication in the 100% cotton. And if you do go for it, go for about 4 or 5%, because you have the stretchability to it. What would happen, and this is what the customers say to me, I'm not a woman, I don't experience what they are, but I do listen and I can style them or advise them on it. It would be the hormonal tummy, as some people call it, will cling if it's 100% cotton. So always go up a size and it'll just flow away from your danger area. Okay. That is the one thing that I'd say.
That's a lovely blue t-shirt.
Yeah, it's just a nice... And again, with this as well...
This is a blue... this is a pink.
A pink, but it's like that candy pink. It's not too bright, or it isn't too neon. There's a lot of colours at the moment coming on neon. Unless you have dark hair and a tan, try to avoid them. Because if you're my colour or your colour, the neon sometimes can paste us and make us pasty looking. But again, the reason why I've picked this again is the V-neck draws the eye up to the neck rather than, again, the danger area or wherever. And being the 100% cotton does make the difference as well.
Listener says, I know what you're going to answer to this. The listener says, is black appropriate to wear at a, at a June wedding? Excuse me.
If it's all black, I wouldn't advise it. Because I'm the old guard when it comes to wearing black and white to a wedding. Wear part of white, like the same, wear part of black. If you go all in black, it is a celebration. You're not mourning anything. So if you are going to wear, say, a black dress, make sure you have an over blouse or a kimono with a bit of colour to brighten it up.
Okay.
But don't go all black.
Listener says, what does Danny think of showing a lot of cleavage? Will it ever go out of fashion for the Debs and weddings and every place? As a female, I'm tired of seeing boobs everywhere. That's not me saying that, by the way. That's someone who just texted in.
It depends on the person that... you have to be very careful when it comes to it. You have to be respectful. I know sometimes you can just show off too much, and sometimes people that might have their tropical moments think it's a good way of cooling down, but everyone else around them is hotting up, if that makes sense. Again, I don't see it as much, and with the Debs, I don't think they're as bad as some older women can be, to be quite honest.
Yeah, there's kind of a rule of thumb, isn't there, that if you're going to show a bit of skin, either show a bit on top or a bit on bottom, but not both.
Yeah, not both. That's a strange one, but like that, I think people have gotten a lot better than what they did about 5-6 years ago, to be quite honest.
Yeah, they're covering up a bit more.
Yeah.
You should stand outside a Code disco sometime in Listowel and have a look at
I did a few years ago, and all I could say was, thanks be to God I didn't have a daughter, because I wouldn't let her outside the door. There were one or two, and when I kind of went, oh my, the girl Dad, you shouldn't be looking. But like that, yeah, it is a bit shocking or whatever. But
it's all a phase.
It is only a phase, you know. At least they weren't in the high heels. They were in their Converse at the time. But I'm gone from that age group now, you know.
No, I'm very briefly, Danny, going to show you this because the lady who said she stands in front of the mirror with the coloured stuff and thinks that she looks massive has since sent us in a photograph.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, of the outfit. Yeah, okay. No, I haven't looked there. No, she doesn't.
No, not at all. You're just too conscious of it.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. Not
at all.
Look.
I mean, even if you want to get a bit of shapewear, maybe.
But the one thing that you just hit on the nail, what I was going to say, a good bra would pay dividends there. Maybe that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Rather than the way that the stripes are going down that dress. No, you look lovely and slim.
Yeah,
I give it the okay.
Yeah, go and get yourself fitted because that's another subject. A load of women are going around wearing the wrong bra size.
Yes, they just need good support, and it gives good posture as well, even without any shapewear or anything like that. The other thing, ladies as well, and men out there, what is fighting against you at time is that voice in the head. I look too fat. You don't. Sometimes you can look as slim as anything. It's something that we program within ourselves to knock ourselves. Please don't do that.
We're our own worst critics.
We're our own worst. Yeah, exactly.
Before I finish up, Danny, and the time has flown again, this is a lovely comment. I would just like to thank Danny for all his advice today and for styling me for day 2 of my wedding. He's a legend, from his 2 menopausal customers. And they give their names.
And I can remember them, but I won't say them.
Well, they've given their names, Lorraine and Bridget.
Yes.
So they're big fans of yours. You gave great styling advice. And Eleanor wants to know if you'll be on YouTube later on. I think normally our videos from this slot make it on
Saturday night, yes.
Yeah.
I think Friday or Saturday night. Depending on how much they've it, really, I'd say. With in between.
Yeah, there's a few outtakes as well.
Yes.
Involving the 2 of us. Danny, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, a pleasure.
We all know what dopamine dressing is now, and I think we're all going to be maybe a little bit more adventurous when it comes to wearing a bit of colour. Even the lady going to the wedding in June who wants to wear black. Move out of your comfort zone.
Yes,
and let us know how you get on.
And have some fun along the way. Show the real you.
The lady with the dress says, you're both making my day, Deirdre and Danny, so I will be wearing my beautiful dress again on Easter Sunday going dancing in the Glen Eagle. Good for you.
Brilliant. Good on you.
Danny, thanks a million. We'll take a break, folks. Lots more to come in the final half hour of Thursday's Talk About.